I was in the middle of a grocery store when I decided to leave her. Not after a fight. Not after catching her in bed with another man. Not after a screaming match where she confessed through tears. No, it was something much quieter, much colder. A moment so absurdly simple it should have meant nothing. And yet it meant everything. I was standing in the dairy aisle holding a carton of eggs when my phone vibrated in my pocket. A message from her. Get milk. That was it. No please, no thanks, no how's your day? Just an order. Like I was some errand boy. I don't know why, but in that moment it hit me. The absolute indifference in her words. The way my existence had been reduced to a convenience. A man who lived in her house, paid half the bills, and picked up groceries like an obedient little fool. And then, just as quickly as that realization came, another one followed. She had stopped loving me a long time ago. I put the eggs back. Left the store without buying a damn thing. Sat in my car with my hands on the wheel and let myself sink into the ugly, bitter truth I had been avoiding. I wasn't just unloved, I was disposable. But I wasn't stupid. This wasn't just about some cold message. This wasn't about groceries. This was about the nights she came home late smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. The way she locked her phone, turned it face down, laughed at messages she never used to hide. The way she suddenly started caring about her appearance again. Not for me, never for me, but for someone else. I had suspected for months, maybe even longer, but I never had proof, never had the guts to look for it. Until now, I started the car, drove home with a feeling in my chest I couldn't name. Not anger, not sadness, something heavier, something final. She was in the kitchen when I walked in, scrolling through her phone. Her face lit up with whatever message had her so deeply entertained. She didn't even glance up when I entered, just murmured, "Hey, did you get the milk?" I didn't answer, just walked past her, straight to our bedroom, and pulled open her closet. There it was, her favorite bag. The one she always took when she went out with her friends after work. The one I never saw her carry back into the house. I opened it. Inside was a change of clothes, a cheap bottle of perfume, a hotel key card. My stomach dropped. There it was. Proof. Not just suspicion, not just gut feeling. Cold, hard, indisputable proof. I didn't feel rage. Didn't feel heartbreak. Just a strange, eerie sense of clarity. A voice in my head whispering, "It's over." And so I packed my bags. Quietly, methodically. No yelling. No confrontation. Just silent, precise movements as I erased myself from the life she had already pushed me out of. She didn't even notice. Not that night. Not the next morning. Not for 9 days. 9 days before she realized my side of the closet was empty. Before she called, confused, annoyed, demanding answers like I owed her an explanation. 9 days before she understood. I was gone. And I wasn't coming back. The call came at 10:42 p.m. I was sitting in my hotel room watching some mindless show on TV, barely listening to the laughter track when my phone lit up. Her name on the screen. The first time she had called since I left. 9 days. It had taken her 9 whole days to notice. I let it ring. Watched it vibrate on the nightstand, waiting to see if she'd leave a voicemail. She didn't. Instead, a text popped up seconds later. "Where are you?" Not "why did you leave" or "is everything okay," just a demand. A question that wasn't about concern but control. Like I had simply misplaced myself and needed to be retrieved. I turned the phone over and didn't reply. A minute later, it rang again. I sighed, picked it up, and answered. "Hello? Where the hell are you?" She snapped, skipping any pretense of confusion or concern. I leaned back in the chair, staring at the ceiling. This was it. The moment I had been waiting for. The moment she realized she had lost me. And she wasn't even trying to hide her irritation. "You noticed," I said. "What?" "That I left." She scoffed. Like I was being dramatic. Like I was a child throwing a tantrum. "What the hell is wrong with you? You disappear for over a week and don't even tell me? Do you have any idea how insane that is?" I laughed. Actually laughed. It was short, bitter, almost amused. "You didn't notice I was gone for 9 days, and I'm the insane one? Oh my God." She groaned, exasperated. "What is this? Some kind of test?" Some pathetic attempt to get my attention? Because if it is, congrats. You got it. Now come home. Come home. Like I was some dog that had wandered off and she had finally gotten around to calling me back. I exhaled slowly, pressing my fingers against my temple. I wanted to drag this out. I wanted to hear her lie. I found the hotel key, I said, voice calm. Steady. The one in your bag. Silence. Not a gasp. Not a quick denial. Just the kind of silence that only confirms the truth. Then finally, a clipped, what are you talking about? I smiled to myself. There it was. The first lie. The bag you take to girls' night every week? The one you never bring back inside? I opened it. Found the key. Found the perfume. Found the extra set of clothes. Another pause. This one shorter. Then a sharp, defensive, you went through my stuff? I almost laughed again. That was her first concern. Not that she had been caught. Not that she had wrecked our marriage. But that I had the audacity to look. Yeah, I said. I did. Wow. Wow. She gave a humorless laugh like she was the victim here. Do you even hear yourself? Do you even understand how insane that is? Jesus Christ. You're paranoid. Who is he? I cut her off, no longer interested in the performance. Another silence. Longer this time. Then she did what cheaters do best. She flipped it. You're disgusting, she spat. I can't believe you don't trust me. That you would actually accuse me of stop. My voice was quiet, but it cut through her bullshit like a blade. Don't waste my time lying to me. Just say it. Say what? She shot back, still playing dumb. That you don't love me, I said. That you love someone else. That you've been screwing around behind my back while I spent years breaking my back trying to make you happy. Say it. Another pause. Then she scoffed. Scoffed. You're being dramatic. I packed up and left after finding out about your affair. Took you 9 days to notice. I let the words sink in. Let her feel the weight of her own neglect. Silence. Then, voice quieter, like she was trying a new tactic, she said, just come home. Okay? We can talk about this. No. She inhaled sharply, caught off guard by my finality. She had expected me to crumble. To yell, to argue, to fight for something she had already thrown away. Are you seriously leaving me over some stupid misunderstanding? She said, her voice rising again. It's not a misunderstanding, I said. It's a choice. And you made it a long time ago. I hung up before she could respond. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free. The texts started the next morning. At first, they were controlled. Cold. Short sentences, clipped words, like she was sending work emails instead of trying to fix a broken marriage. We need to talk. Come home so we can handle this like adults. You're blowing this out of proportion. I ignored every single one. Then, by afternoon, the tone shifted. You don't just get to leave me like this. At least give me a chance to explain. You're a coward if you think disappearing fixes anything. Ah, there it was. The anger. The venom. The attempt to make this my fault. By evening, it changed again. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped at you on the phone. Please, just meet me. Just once. Let's talk. I stared at the screen, at her sudden attempt at softness, and felt nothing. No spark of hope. No urge to respond. Because I knew exactly who I was dealing with. This wasn't remorse. It wasn't guilt. It wasn't love. It was damage control. She wasn't sorry she cheated. She was sorry she got caught. But part of me was curious. I wanted to see just how far she'd go. So I gave her nothing. No replies, no reaction. Just silence. And silence, I knew, would drive her insane. Sure enough, the next morning I woke up to a string of messages. Fine. You want the truth? I'll tell you everything. I smirked. Now we were getting somewhere. Still, I waited. Let her stew in her own desperation. Let her feel the suffocating quiet of not having control. By noon, my phone rang again. This time I answered. Finally, she breathed like I had been the one avoiding her. Can you just meet me? Please. I'll tell you everything. Just, let's talk in person. I could hear it in her voice. The carefully rehearsed sincerity. The manipulation masked as vulnerability. She thought if she looked me in the eye, if she cried, if she played the victim just right, I'd fold. I almost wanted to admire the effort. Almost. Fine, I said. 1 hour. The diner on 5th. She exhaled in relief, like she had just won some small battle. Like she thought this was her chance to pull me back into her web. I let her believe it. When I got to the diner, she was already there. Sitting in the corner booth, nails tapping against her coffee cup, eyes scanning the door like she was afraid I wouldn't show. And the moment she saw me, her expression softened. Fake. Every bit of it. "Hey," she said as I slid into the seat across from her, as if this was just another casual lunch. "Thanks for coming." I didn't respond. Just stared at her. Waiting. Watching. She swallowed, glancing down at her coffee like she was gathering herself, then met my eyes again. "Look, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I messed up. I should have told you sooner." I leaned back in the seat. "Told me what?" She hesitated. I almost laughed. She was still debating how much to admit. Still weighing her options, trying to calculate what version of the truth would save her the most. "It wasn't serious," she finally said. Like that somehow mattered. "It was just a mistake. A lapse in judgment. It didn't mean anything." I let the words sit there. Let them hang in the air between us, heavy and hollow. Then I tilted my head, studying her. "A mistake?" She nodded quickly. "Yes, that's all it was. And I wanted to tell you I did, but a mistake," I repeated, slower this time. "How long has this mistake been happening?" Another hesitation. Another calculation. "A couple months," she admitted. I huffed a laugh. "Try again." She frowned. "What? You think I don't know? You think I haven't put the pieces together?" I leaned forward, resting my arms on the table. "You've been doing this for over a year." Her lips parted slightly like she was about to deny it. But I saw it, the flicker of panic in her eyes. The realization that her usual tricks weren't going to work this time. "So, tell me again," I said, voice calm, almost amused. "Was it really just a mistake?" She exhaled sharply, shaking her head. Okay, fine. It wasn't just once. Are you happy now?" I smiled, but there was nothing warm about it. "Oh, I'm thrilled." Her jaw clenched. "I don't know what else you want me to say. I already admitted it. I already said I was sorry. What more do you want? I want to know why it took you 9 days to notice I was gone." She blinked. I tilted my head. 9 days and you didn't even realize your husband had left you. Why is that?" Her mouth opened, then closed again. And for the first time, she looked nervous. Because she knew exactly why. "You weren't alone, were you?" I asked, watching her face carefully. Silence. Then, finally, barely above a whisper, she said, "No." And just like that, every last shred of doubt was gone. I stood up. "Wait," she said quickly, reaching for my hand. "Please, we can fix this. I swear, it didn't mean stop." I cut her off, my voice sharp enough to make her flinch. "It meant enough that you didn't even notice I was gone." She exhaled shakily. "It was a mistake." "No," I said, shaking my head. "It was a choice. And you made it. Over and over and over again." Her eyes started to water, but I didn't care. She could cry all she wanted. It wouldn't change the fact that she had already lost me. I turned and walked out. This time, I didn't look back. I didn't go back to the hotel after leaving the diner. Instead, I drove. Nowhere in particular. Just miles of road stretching out in front of me. The city lights blurring into a smear of neon and concrete. I kept the window down, let the cold air bite at my skin, let the silence settle deep in my bones. I should have felt something. Anger. Grief. Relief, maybe? But there was nothing. Just a dull, echoing emptiness. Like my body had already processed the betrayal long before my brain caught up. She had admitted it. Not all of it, not willingly, but enough. Enough for me to see her for exactly what she was. A liar. A cheater. A woman who had spent over a year slipping into another man's bed while I spent my nights wondering why she didn't want to touch me anymore. And now she wanted to fix things? I laughed bitterly, shaking my head. She wasn't sorry. Not really. She was only sorry she couldn't keep both of us. I pulled into an empty parking lot, killed the engine, and leaned back against the seat. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I knew who it was before I even checked. I shouldn't have lied. "I'm sorry. Please don't do this." I stared at the message, the little dots blinking at the bottom of the screen, meaning she was still typing. "I miss you." I scoffed. She missed me. The same woman who had spent the last year tangled in another man's sheets. Who hadn't noticed I was gone for over a week. Who had called me a coward for walking away. I should have blocked her. Deleted the messages, erased the number, cut the last remaining thread that connected us. But instead, I did something worse. Called her. She picked up on the first ring. Hello? Her voice was soft, hesitant, almost hopeful. Who is he? I asked. No greeting, no small talk, just the one question I hadn't asked at the diner. She hesitated, but only for a second. Does it matter? I smiled to myself, shaking my head. Wow, what do you want me to say? She snapped, the fake vulnerability cracking. That he was some great love of my life? That I was planning to run off with him? Because I wasn't. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Silence. Come on, I pressed, my voice mockingly light. I'm genuinely curious. Was it just convenient? Was it thrilling? Was it because I stopped taking you out on dates? Or because I didn't tell you how pretty you looked in the morning? What was the reason? I don't know, she admitted, voice tight. Bullshit, I shot back. People don't just fall into bed together by accident. She sighed heavily, like I was exhausting her. Like I was the problem in all of this. It just happened. I laughed, shaking my head. Of course it did. I was lonely, she said suddenly. You were always working, always tired. We stopped talking. We stopped being us. So you found someone else. I didn't mean to, but you did. Silence. And let me guess, I continued, voice calm, steady. Dangerous. It wasn't your fault, right? It was just a mistake. A lapse in judgment. A little accident that repeated itself over and over again for more than a year. I said I was sorry. And I said I don't care. Another sharp silence. This one heavier, thicker. So what now? She finally asked, voice quieter. Now? I let the word roll off my tongue slowly as if I was actually considering it. Now I move on. And you live with the fact that you lost the only person who ever truly loved you. That's not fair, she whispered. Neither is screwing someone else while your husband is out buying groceries. She exhaled sharply, and for the first time, she didn't have anything to say. I didn't wait for her to find the words. I ended the call and turned off my phone. Then, without another thought, I started the car and drove away. I thought cutting her off would bring me peace. I thought once the last call was made, the last word spoken, the last piece of her removed from my life, I would finally feel free. But freedom doesn't come that easy. For the next few days, the silence wasn't comforting, it was suffocating. I had spent years orbiting around her, adjusting my life to fit into hers. Now, without that gravitational pull, I felt weightless. Disoriented. Like I had been walking through a maze for so long that I had forgotten what it felt like to move in a straight line. I spent my time drifting from place to place, avoiding anything that reminded me of her. I switched hotels twice. Ate at diners she'd never stepped foot in. Took long, pointless drives at night just to keep myself moving. And yet, she still found ways to reach me. Blocked numbers. Fake profiles. Voicemails left from a friend's phone. I don't understand why you're doing this. Are you seriously throwing everything away over one mistake? We can fix this. We can go to therapy. Just come home. Home. The word didn't mean anything to me anymore. By the fourth day of ignoring her, I was convinced she would finally give up. That she would let me disappear, accept her loss, and move on to whatever poor bastard was next in line. But then, on the fifth day, she escalated. I was coming back to my hotel late that night when I saw her. She was standing by my car. My stomach twisted. Not in longing, not in regret, but in sheer, undeniable rage. She looked different. Not in some dramatic, heart-wrenching way, but in the way people do when they're caught off guard. No makeup, hair pulled into a loose bun, wearing an oversized hoodie I didn't recognize. The kind of thrown-together look that said she had rushed here, that she had acted on impulse, that she wasn't going to let me go without one last desperate attempt. I clenched my jaw, exhaling through my nose. I didn't want to deal with this. With her. With the games. But I had a feeling she wouldn't leave until I gave her something. So I walked over, stopped a few feet away, arms crossed. What are you doing here? I asked, voice flat. I had to see you, she said quickly. No, you didn't. She flinched like she wasn't used to me speaking to her like that. Like she had expected anger, expected shouting, expected some kind of emotion that would confirm she still had a hold on me. But she didn't. "Can we talk?" She tried again, stepping closer. "We already did. Not like this. Exactly like this." I narrowed my eyes. "What do you want, really?" She bit her lip, hesitated, then said, "I want you to come back." I laughed. Actually laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so pathetically predictable. "Why?" I challenged. "Because you miss me? Or because you don't want to deal with the consequences of losing me?" Her lips parted slightly, but no words came out. I nodded. "That's what I thought." "It's not like that," she insisted, shaking her head. "I know I screwed up, but we have a life together. You can't just, I already did. So that's it?" She snapped, mask slipping. "You're just going to pretend like none of it mattered?" "No," I said, voice low, calm, sharp. "I'm just not pretending it was worth saving." Her face twisted, a flicker of something mean flashing across her features. "You act like you were some perfect husband." I let out a breathy chuckle, shaking my head. "And there it is." "What?" She snapped. "The part where you try to justify it," I said. "The part where you act like this was somehow my fault, like I pushed you into someone else's bed, like I should be apologizing for not being good enough while you were out playing house with another man." Her jaw clenched. "That's not what I meant." "But it's exactly what you meant." Silence. For the first time since she had shown up, she looked lost. Like she didn't recognize the man standing in front of her. Like she had expected to break me only to find out she had nothing left to break. "You loved me," she whispered almost accusingly. I held her gaze. "Yeah. And you took that for granted." Something flickered in her expression, something small, something almost close to real regret. But it didn't matter. I was done. I turned, walking past her toward the hotel entrance. "Wait," she said, reaching for my arm. I yanked away before she could touch me. That was the last thing she deserved. "Don't come here again," I said, my voice final. "Don't call. Don't text. Don't try to pull me back just because you don't want to be the one left behind." She opened her mouth, but I was already walking inside, leaving her standing there in the dim glow of the streetlight. I didn't check to see if she stayed or left. I didn't look out the window to watch her drive away. I didn't wonder if she cried, if she felt empty, if she was spiraling from the realization that she had finally lost control over me. It wasn't my problem anymore. I didn't hear from her for 3 days. No texts. No calls. No surprise appearances outside my hotel. Just silence. I thought that meant I had finally gotten through to her. That she had finally understood that I was done. That there was nothing left to fix. I was wrong. On the 4th day, I got a call from my bank. "Sir, we're just calling to confirm some unusual activity on your joint account." My stomach dropped. Our joint account. The one I hadn't touched since leaving. The one I had planned to deal with later, once the dust had settled. "What kind of activity?" I asked, already bracing myself. "Multiple large withdrawals over the past 48 hours. Some flagged as high-risk transactions." I exhaled slowly, gripping the phone tighter. "How much?" There was a pause. Then the banker said the number, and my blood turned to ice. She was draining me. I hung up before they could say anything else. Pulled up my banking app, and there it was, thousands gone in just 2 days. Spent on God knows what. Hotel stays, lavish nights out, maybe even gifts for the guy she had been screwing. It didn't matter. What mattered was that she wasn't just content with betraying me. She wanted to bleed me dry on her way out. I grabbed my keys and left. I found her at home. The house I had walked out of almost 2 weeks ago. The place I had built with her. Filled with our things. Filled with memories that had long since soured. She was in the living room when I walked in, curled up on the couch with a glass of wine, looking so goddamn comfortable it made my blood boil. She glanced up, and for a split second, I saw it. The flicker of surprise. The slight panic. Then she masked it, straightened up, and sighed like I was the one inconveniencing her. "You could have called if you wanted to talk," she said, swirling the wine in her glass like we were discussing weekend plans instead of her blatant attempt at financial warfare. I clenched my jaw. What the hell are you doing? She blinked. Excuse me? I stepped closer, towering over her, heart hammering in my chest. You emptied our account. She didn't even flinch, didn't even have the decency to look guilty. Instead, she leaned back against the couch, lips curving into something that wasn't quite a smirk. Oh, she murmured, taking a slow sip of wine. That. I stared at her, disbelief mixing with rage. You don't even deny it? Why would I? She set her glass down and tilted her head. It's a joint account, remember? My name is on it too. I let out a short, bitter laugh. So, that's what this is? You couldn't control me, so now you're trying to screw me over financially? She shrugged. I'm just making sure I have what I deserve. I inhaled sharply, forcing myself to stay calm. What you deserve. I was your wife. Her voice was smooth, deliberate, calculated. I spent years with you, built a life with you, and then you just walked away. So yeah, I think I deserve something for my troubles. Something inside me snapped. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just leaned in, looking her dead in the eye. You deserve nothing. Her smirk faltered. You threw this marriage away the second you spread your legs for someone else, I continued, voice dangerously low. You lied. You cheated. And now you have the nerve to act like you're the victim? She crossed her arms, her posture shifting from arrogant to defensive. You think you're so righteous, don't you? Like you were some perfect husband. Like you didn't ignore me for months before any of this even happened. I scoffed. You mean while I was out working? While I was paying for this house? Paying for your nights out? For your clothes? For the life you had while you were sneaking around behind my back? She rolled her eyes. Oh please, you act like you were some saint. But let's be real, you just liked playing the role of the good husband so you could throw it in my face when it was convenient. I clenched my fists at my sides. This was pointless. She wasn't going to admit fault. She wasn't going to show remorse. She was going to spin this until the very end. Twist the truth so she didn't have to face the fact that she was the reason this marriage was over. I took a deep breath, reining myself in. I wasn't here to argue. I was here to finish this. I already froze the account, I said, watching her closely. Her expression stiffened. Every transaction you made in the last 48 hours is flagged for fraud. The bank is investigating. They'll be calling you soon. Her face paled just slightly. You wouldn't, I would. She swallowed, and for the first time I saw fear. So here's what's going to happen, I continued. I'm getting a lawyer. We're settling this the legal way. And if you so much as touch another dollar that isn't yours, I'll make sure the next person knocking on your door isn't me, it's a cop. Her breath hitched, but she quickly masked it, lifting her chin. Fine. If you want to drag this into court, go ahead. But don't expect me to just roll over. I don't expect anything from you, I said. Not anymore. She opened her mouth to say something else, but I didn't care. I turned and walked out, slamming the door behind me. This time, for good. I didn't go back to the hotel after leaving the house. I couldn't. I needed air. I needed space. I needed to be anywhere but in the gravitational pull of her destruction. So I drove. Miles blurred beneath my tires, city lights fading into stretches of empty roads. My hands were tight on the wheel, my pulse hammering in my ears. The conversation replayed in my head over and over, every word, every smug little smirk, every dismissive shrug. She had no guilt, no remorse. I had given her the chance to own up to what she had done, to at least pretend she was sorry, to make this easier, and instead she had turned it into a game. A power struggle, as if she hadn't already lost. The worst part wasn't the cheating. It wasn't even the lies. It was the complete and utter lack of care. The way she looked at me like I was the problem. Like I was the one being unreasonable for refusing to sit there and be humiliated. Like I owed her something. I should have known she'd try to take from me on her way out. Should have expected the financial hit, the desperate attempt to make me pay for having the audacity to leave. But she underestimated me. I had already frozen the accounts, already called the lawyer, already set the wheels in motion to cut her out of my life in every possible way. And now, for the first time in weeks, I felt something close to control. I drove for nearly 2 hours before finally pulling into an empty parking lot outside a 24-hour diner. The neon open sign buzzed in the window, flickering slightly, casting a red glow onto the pavement. It was nearly 2 in the morning, but I wasn't tired. I walked inside, the bell above the door jingling softly. The place was empty except for a tired-looking waitress behind the counter and a trucker in the corner nursing a cup of coffee. I slid into a booth near the window, rubbing a hand over my face as I exhaled. "What can I get you?" the waitress asked, not even bothering with fake enthusiasm. "Coffee," I said. "Black." She nodded, scribbling on her pad before walking away. I stared out the window, watching the occasional car pass by on the quiet street. My mind should have been racing. I should have been drowning in what-ifs, in bitterness, in regret. But instead, there was only one thought, clear and sharp. I was going to be free. I didn't care about the money. I didn't care about the house. I didn't care about any of it. I just wanted her out of my life. Completely. The coffee arrived, steaming and bitter, but I barely tasted it. I was already making a list in my head, already planning my next steps. Step 1, finalize the lawyer. Step 2, move my remaining belongings out of the house before she got the chance to touch them. Step 3, file for divorce and make sure she got as little as legally possible. I wasn't going to let her win. Not because I was bitter. Not because I wanted revenge. But because she didn't deserve a damn thing. I was halfway through my coffee when my phone vibrated against the table. At first, I ignored it. I had nothing left to say. I had made myself clear. But then, a second vibration. A third. A fourth. Curiosity won. I picked up the phone and saw her name flashing across the screen. I let it ring. Then came the texts. "We need to talk. Please pick up. This isn't funny. Call me now." My brow furrowed. The tone was different. Not smug. Not taunting. Something else. A final text popped up. "If you don't call me back, you're going to regret it." I stared at the screen. Something was off. For the first time since this entire mess started. I felt uneasy. I stared at the last message, my thumb hovering over the screen. "If you don't call me back, you're going to regret it." It was different from the others. No fake guilt. No pleading. No desperate attempts at manipulation. Just a threat. And that was what made me pause. I had seen every side of her. Loving, cold, selfish, cruel. But this was something new. For a second, I considered ignoring it, turning my phone off, drinking my coffee, and letting her rot in whatever miserable hole she had dug for herself. But something in my gut was screaming. I needed to know what she was playing at. So I called. She picked up instantly. "Took you long enough," she snapped, her voice sharp, angry, and just beneath the surface, something else. "Nerves? What do you want?" I asked, already exhausted. "You need to come back," she said, a little too quickly. "Now." I laughed, shaking my head. "Yeah, that's not happening. I'm serious." "So am I." She exhaled hard through her nose, and I could practically picture the way she was pacing, biting her nails, trying to figure out how to word whatever scheme she had cooked up. "You don't understand," she said, finally lowering her voice. "I tried to be nice about this. I tried to fix things. But you just keep pushing me." I frowned. "What the hell are you talking about? You froze the account. You got a lawyer. You're trying to screw me over. And I'm supposed to just sit here and take it? You stole from me," I said flatly. "Oh, please," she scoffed. "It was our money. I was just making sure I got my share before you ran off and took it all." I clenched my jaw. "You really don't get it, do you?" "Oh, I get it just fine," she shot back, voice dripping with venom. "You want to punish me. You want me to suffer. Well, congratulations, you win. But if you think I'm going to let you walk away clean, you're dead wrong." I sighed, pinching the bridge of my nose. This was going nowhere. "I don't have time for your games," I muttered. "Whatever this is, it's not a game," she cut in, voice suddenly calmer. "I just thought you'd like to know that I made a few calls today." Something about the way she said it made my stomach tighten. "What calls?" A pause. A slow, drawn-out silence that sent ice crawling down my spine. Then, with pure satisfaction in her voice, she said, "I told people things. About you. Things that might make your life a little difficult." I went completely still. "What the hell does that mean?" "You'll find out soon enough." I clenched the phone tighter. "You need to be very careful about what you say next." "Or what?" she challenged. "What are you gonna do? Run to your lawyer? Go cry about it in some cheap motel?" I exhaled sharply, forcing myself to stay calm. You're bluffing. Try me, she said smoothly. And that was it. That was the moment I realized she had nothing left to lose. She had already lost me. Lost the marriage. Lost the access to my money, my protection, my patience. And now, she was going to burn everything down with her. You're insane, I muttered. No, she said, and I could hear the smirk in her voice. I'm just really, really pissed off. I swallowed, my heart pounding against my ribs. I had made one mistake. I thought walking away was enough. I thought leaving would mean the worst was over. But I had underestimated her. And now, I was about to find out just how far she was willing to go. I didn't sleep that night. After I hung up, I sat in my car, gripping the wheel so tightly my knuckles ached. My mind kept replaying her voice, the satisfaction in it, the smug finality. She had done something. Something reckless, something cruel, something designed to make sure I didn't just walk away untouched. And I had no idea what it was. I wanted to believe she was bluffing. That she was just throwing one last tantrum, lashing out because she had finally realized she had no power over me anymore. But I knew better. She had spent the last year lying to my face without so much as a crack in her expression. She was a master manipulator. And people like that? They don't bluff. They destroy. By morning, I got my first taste of what she had done. A voicemail from my boss. Hey, look, I don't know what the hell is going on, but we need to talk. ASAP. Call me back. I felt a cold, creeping sensation crawl up my spine. My job. She had gone after my job. I called him back immediately, my fingers numb against the screen. He picked up on the first ring. Jesus Christ, man, he said. What the hell is going on? That's what I'd like to know, I said, pulse pounding in my ears. I just got a call this morning, he said, voice lower now. From a woman claiming to be your wife. I closed my eyes briefly, exhaling through my nose. What did she say? Asterisk that you're going through some kind of breakdown. That you've been erratic, unstable, that she's concerned about you being around clients, and he hesitated like he didn't want to say the next part, that she's worried about your temper. I went still. My temper? I repeated, voice dangerously quiet. Asterisk, yeah, man. Look, I didn't believe her at first, but then she sent emails, messages, screenshots of conversations, stuff that he exhaled sharply. Stuff that makes you look real bad. My stomach twisted. They're fake. I figured, he said quickly. But the higher-ups? They're nervous. They want you to take some time off while we sort this out. I squeezed my eyes shut, inhaling deeply through my nose. She was trying to ruin me. Not just financially. Not just emotionally. She wanted to destroy my reputation. Make sure I lost everything. How long? I asked, forcing my voice to stay even. A few weeks, maybe a month. He hesitated again. But if she keeps pushing this, if she goes public, if she takes this to HR, man, I don't know if I can protect you. Protect me. Like I was some kind of liability. Like I was the problem here. I get it, I said, my throat tight. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, he said, sighing. Just keep your head down, all right? And for what it's worth, I'm sorry, man. This is screwed up. I hung up without responding. Because sorry didn't mean a damn thing. I sat there for a long time, staring blankly out the windshield, my mind racing. I had underestimated her. Even after everything, I had thought she would at least have the decency to keep this between us. But there was no decency in her. No shame. No guilt. Just malice. I should have seen this coming. I should have been prepared. But now it was war. I didn't waste any more time. She had declared war. And I wasn't about to sit back and let her burn my life to the ground while I watched. By noon, I was sitting in a lawyer's office, my hands clasped tightly in front of me as the man across from me flipped through my file. He was older, sharp-eyed, the kind of guy who had seen 1,000 messy divorces and wasn't fazed by a damn thing. She's going after your job, he said finally, tapping a pen against his desk. Smart. Malicious as hell, but smart. Can she actually do anything? I asked, my voice clipped. He shrugged. That depends. Is she just calling your boss, or is she taking this further? She's sending fake messages, fabricating conversations, trying to make me look unstable. His expression hardened. That's defamation. If she keeps pushing, we can hit her with a lawsuit. I don't care about lawsuits, I muttered. I just want her out of my life. Then we need to move fast. He flipped to another page in the file. You need to get ahead of this before she escalates. How? We file immediately. Lock her out of everything, bank accounts, assets, any shared resources. You cut her off completely. No more calls, no more texts. If she tries to contact you, it goes straight through me. I nodded. Done. And the job? I clenched my jaw. What can I do? You get a statement out first. Tell your side before she spreads more lies. Make it clear she's retaliating because of the divorce. The longer you stay quiet, the more power she has. I exhaled slowly, my stomach twisting. I hated this. Hated that I had to defend myself against the person who should have had my back the most. And if she doesn't stop? I asked. The lawyer leaned back in his chair. Then we hit her where it hurts. I stared at him. Meaning? We take her to court. We prove malicious intent. We go after her finances, her credibility, and if we have enough, we take full control of the divorce settlement. If she wants war, we give her war. I exhaled sharply, running a hand through my hair. This wasn't how it was supposed to end. I had walked away. I had given her a chance to let me go quietly, but she had chosen destruction. Now she was about to learn what it felt like to lose. By the time I left the office, my lawyer had already put the paperwork in motion. Everything was being locked down. The accounts, the legal proceedings, even a cease and desist order to stop her from contacting my employer. She had played her hand. Now it was my turn. I didn't go back to the hotel. Instead, I went to my house because it was no longer ours. I wanted to be there when she found out. When I pulled into the driveway, the place was quiet. No lights on. No movement inside. Good. I wanted the advantage. I walked through the front door, the familiar scent of the home I had built with her hitting me like a punch to the gut. But I didn't let myself dwell on it. I went straight to the bedroom, grabbed the last of my things, and checked my phone. 3:42 p.m. She would be home soon. And when she got there, she would find out exactly how badly she had lost. I sat on the couch, waiting. Then, at exactly 5:15 p.m., I heard her car pull up. The door opened. Then silence. I didn't move, just listened as she stepped inside, her heels clicking against the floor. I imagined her looking around, noticing something was different, not knowing what was coming. Then she saw me. "What the hell are you doing here?" she snapped, her voice sharp. I looked up at her, calm, unshaken. "Just wanted to see the look on your face." She frowned. "What are you talking about?" I pulled out my phone, scrolled to an email, and turned the screen toward her. "That's from my lawyer," I said. "Your accounts are frozen. You have no access to my money. You have no claim to anything I own." Her face paled. I leaned forward, voice steady. "You thought you could ruin me, that you could drag me down with you. But all you did was make it easier for me to cut you out completely." She swallowed, eyes darting to the phone, to me, back to the phone. "You can't do this." "I already did." She let out a short, disbelieving laugh, but there was no real confidence behind it. "You're so desperate to hurt me," she said, voice shaking. "No," I said, standing up, towering over her. "I'm just making sure you never hurt me again." She stared at me, her mask cracking, her breath uneven. For the first time in this entire mess, she looked scared, because she had finally realized she had lost. Completely, permanently. I stepped past her, walking toward the door. And as I left, I said the last words I would ever say to her. "Enjoy your new life. You built it yourself." Then I walked out and I never looked back.